A good evening. First of all, I'd like to take this time to welcome you, the beautiful ladies and you wonderful gentlemen who have come out to support this live recording, this live broadcast, live on location at the Minister of God in Christ Jesus Foundation Recording Studios and Soundstage Production. What you are going to hear and listen to this evening is entitled The Kenneth Williams Monologue. The Kenneth Williams Monologue is a long speech that you would hear in a movie performance in a motion picture film. And the Kenneth Williams Monologue is going to be accompanied by the band. The band's going to put it in a pocket. I want you to listen. If I gave it a title other than the Kenneth Williams Monologue, it would be called Listen to This Before You Do That. And before we get to it, I want to talk to the band because I need to hear something in the pocket. I need to put it in a pocket so I can feel this thing before we go forth with the Kenneth Williams Monologue, the monologue of Kenneth Williams. Listen to this before you do that. She's a single mother with 2 children, who's a single parent with no husband. She's a divorced wife with no husband. She doesn't have any children from her first marriage. She has a boyfriend shacking up with her, and he's not her husband either. And her boyfriend is not the father of her 2 children. She's having sexual relations with her boyfriend the same way she has sex with her 2 children's father. And they weren't married either. Just like she wasn't married to her 2 children's father. And she's still not married to that man she's sleeping in the bed with. And they don't have no children together. Her 2 children never knew their father because their mother and father broke up either before or shortly after the children were born. Now, she's an angry single mother with 2 children with no daddy, and an angry, bitter, divorced ex-wife at the same time. Her boyfriend, who's living with her, shacking up, he doesn't have one clue about what's really going on with the thoughts in his girlfriend's mind, because his girlfriend doesn't know who her daddy is either. I guess her mother never told her about her father, because her mother had multiple children by multiple men, and her mother's children have many different daddies. They all have the same mother, but they all have different fathers. Each man that her mother got in the bed with, they all left her. That's why you always see single mothers gather together and never the men who fathered the family. This single mother is no longer a single woman. She has children to raise, and she's raising them all on her own. She's a beautiful woman. She's youthful. She gets a whole lot of attention from men. Her body is still tight. She's still a single woman with children who desires her husband. But still, she has a boyfriend. The children want to know their father because that's a part of who they are. It's in the DNA. Regardless of their mother, their father is still in the child's heart. Is the mother so angry and bitter because she realized her own mistakes? Or has she come to understand when she first got pregnant that was the chance that she had to take? Who should we blame in the very beginning when we first had sex? Is it the man or is it the woman for this act that we both did commit? Let's blame the boy because he should be a better man. Let's blame the girl because she's supposed to be better than that. Let's blame their parents because they should have known better. We can't blame them. Why? Because their parents were never ever together. We have to blame somebody to be responsible for taking care of their children, from their grandparents to their parents' generation. Have you forgotten where you come from? What's your father's last name? What's your mother's maiden name? Do you know if your mother has ever changed her last name? Do you know if your mother has ever been raped and you're the child? Were you adopted? Are you a foster child? Forget all that stuff. I can make it on my own. I hate everybody. Why don't you just leave me alone? I'm going to do what I have to do because I'm a single mother. My mother told me to just get a man who will help me with my children, help pay my bills, and all I have to do is make them feel good. That's how you keep that man. But I can't get pregnant no more because this will happen again. And I'm going to keep having sex with my boyfriend because the sex is so good. My children will be his stepchildren, but he can't tell them nothing, and he can't discipline my children because he's not their father. They have a father. He's just not active in their life. I don't need no other man telling my children nothing. All I need is a man. All I need a man for is sex and money. And if he drives a nice looking car, he can come and pick me up and take me out to eat. I don't expect my boyfriend to cheat on me with another woman, but I'm not gonna stop having my male friends because a single woman has to keep her options open with other men. But I'm only having sex with my boyfriend, at least for now. A single woman with no children may be a career woman, at least while she is still young, healthy, and vibrant. A single woman with children may have a desire to work or become a career woman, but with the responsibility to raise her children, she made her own choice to have sex, which is the reason why she had a child in the first place, especially if the single woman with a child did not get raped by any man. No one put a gun to her head to force her to have sex. It appears that sex is something that she wanted to have, regardless of who she had sex with. Fair exchange, no robbery. The same thing applies to a single man who doesn't have any children. To have sex, he first wanted to have sex, regardless if he or she considered what the outcome would be. Now, the young woman got pregnant, and she doesn't tell the young man that she's having sex with. Isn't that something? The young woman got pregnant, and she didn't tell the young man that she's having sex with. She instead had a miscarriage on her own without anyone knowing her secret. Okay, that's cool, until she get pregnant again. Remember, she likes having sex, and she likes the feeling and the pleasures that she experiences when she's having sex. He likes sex too. But make no mistakes, the young woman likes to have sex even more than the young man thinks. The woman got pregnant for the second time. She finally tells her boyfriend that she's pregnant, and she wants to know what is he going to do about it. Will he take care of his responsibility and be a man? Because he's the only one who got her pregnant. She's desperate because her body isn't feeling good, and she remembers her little secret about her first miscarriage that she never spoke about. Her boyfriend is not responding to her the way she thinks that he should, but she is still having sex with him, regardless of his answer. And now, because of the time limits on her growth of the baby inside of her, she secretly gets an abortion and tells her boyfriend a lie that she had a miscarriage and lost their baby. And now, she has to live with her lies of having one miscarriage and one abortion. You know they're not together anymore, right? But the girl, she is still having sex with someone else. She is hunting for that right man for her. She desires good sex and a husband. That way, if she gets pregnant again, she has a husband that she hopes will take care of her and the baby. She is so desperate. The young woman with children and no husband goes to the doctor for a procedure to get her tubes tied so she can have sex and not get pregnant. She says that she can get her tubes untied if she wants another child with a supporting father in the picture. So she gets married to another man, and she never told her new husband that she got her tubes tied, and he doesn't know that she can't give him a baby. When her husband finds out about her physical state later on in the marriage, he tells his wife he wants to have a baby. There must have been a problem and risk taken from all the young woman's past abortion and miscarriage, because she got pregnant by her new husband, had another miscarriage at home in the bathroom, and she was bleeding at work. The outcome was this young woman is unable to give her husband any children. That hurt her husband so much. Later on down the line, her husband met a new younger woman who did not have the problems that his wife had. It sounds like an unfortunate thing to happen, but who falls in love and gets married just to file for divorce? Unless the husband was really in love with his wife, and the wife was not really in love with her husband. She just got with a man who had a good source of income, who could keep his job. That was her plan and her strategy from the very beginning. It was never about love in the first place. All this woman wanted was security so she could feel like she made it with a man who doesn't ask her any questions. Seduction and manipulation are highly practiced by single women who have children with no father in the picture, who are divorced and who are hiding behind their husband's trap of marital infidelity. But what had really happened was she was conniving and plotting against her husband the whole time. She got burnt at the end of the road. That's what happened when you play yourself. The single woman who's a single mother and an ex-wife who's been divorced 2 times filed for child support when she was young. At that time, the boyfriend was unemployed, so she never got any checks. But she still kept sending him to the courthouse. One day, the judge asked the young man, "Son, are you sure you're the father of the child? Do you ever see this child?" You know you have rights to see your child, especially if the mother keeps sending you to this courtroom. You always appear on your court date and you're never late. I will order a paternity DNA test for you and the mother to make sure that you are the father of the child. Every time you come to the court, the mother's who's dragging you to court, she never shows up in the court to show her face. Every man is not a bad, no good father or deadbeat dad. I've seen a whole lot of no good mothers and deadbeat moms in my courtroom, especially when the women lie on men to keep face with their family, and to find out the whole time she's done this before with other men, and she doesn't know how or when to keep her legs closed. Have any of you men ever experienced the feeling in court when the judge tells you that you are not the father of that child? The truth was revealed that the girl was having sex with her older brother, and everybody in her family knows about it, but they kept it a family secret. She's having sex with everybody she can, still searching for a fool to be the father of her family incest child. All child support cases are not good for the mother who was conniving and full of deceit. Everyone in life has to face the judge, the mothers and the fathers too. Now you're an independent woman and you got your life all together and you're so smart. You even got a degree. You have a job, you have a car, you have an apartment, you lost your house. You have your family, you have your friends. You know you look good, but you can always look better. There's always somebody looking better than you. You pay your own bills and you don't need no one to help you because you're an independent woman. That's what you said, you're an independent woman. You don't need no man. You say you know God, so you don't need no help with your faith because you got it going on and your kids are grown. But why you can't keep a husband? You so fine, but what happened to your marriage? And why did your husband cheat on you? What happened that caused your husband to look for attention in another woman? I mean, you are a Christian church woman, and you said that your husband was a Christian church man. So what happened in your marriage as a good wife? Because that's how you always want people to see you, as a woman who has her stuff all together. You're always pointing fingers at your husband and say, he lost a good thing. I mean, wouldn't think you was all that good. Your husband wouldn't have cheated on you in the first place if you was all that good. Have you ever misrepresented your husband or disrespected your husband, or was it always your husband's fault all the time? And you never did anything wrong because you were always the victim in a bad marriage? Or was it a good marriage? Or was it always a bad marriage? I guess we'll never know. But God knows the things that even an independent woman will never tell others about. Her own failures as a woman, her own failures as a mother, her own failures as a wife and a divorced wife. But let you tell it, you have all your stuff together and you don't need any improvement. If you really got it going on like you say so much, shouldn't you be on a whole higher level, like with other people who can see your worth and see your value? Because you are so much more better than the man who can't afford your style. What do you own? And is your debt all paid off? Or are you struggling and trying to play it like you the best woman and the greatest thing that any man will ever have in life? Good luck with your life. How's your health been? Are you taking care of your physical appearance? I mean, I know you want a good-looking man who's healthy and strong and all the above. But are you equal as a woman to the man that you're looking for? Or do you need an upgrade for yourself first? A good evening. First of all, I'd like to take this time to welcome you, the beautiful ladies and you wonderful gentlemen who have come out to support this live recording, this live broadcast, live on location at the Minister of God in Christ Jesus Foundation Recording Studios and Soundstage Production. What you are going to hear and listen to this evening is entitled The Kenneth Williams Monologue. The Kenneth Williams Monologue is a long speech that you would hear in a movie performance in a motion picture film. And the Kenneth Williams Monologue is going to be accompanied by the band. The band's going to put it in a pocket. I want you to listen. If I gave it a title other than the Kenneth Williams Monologue, it would be called Listen to This Before You Do That. And before we get to it, I want to talk to the band because I need to hear something in the pocket. I need to put it in a pocket so I can feel this thing before we go forth with the Kenneth Williams Monologue, the monologue of Kenneth Williams. Listen to this before you do that.